Hello everyone, Fro here. I've been away for a while because I've been stuck in the lab for this new cool little fighting game called Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. And you know what? I'm not somebody who can claim to understand the character strengths right now. I'm still very much in the learning process of understanding this game. But I do consider myself a bit of a fighting game OST connoisseur. And of course, probably by the end of this video, you're going to completely disagree with everything I do here. But the point is, fighting game OSTs, fighting game soundtracks are very precious to me. They matter a lot to me, and they're basically the music I use to lock in at work. They're music I listen to enjoy myself. There's a lot that I love about fighting game music, especially character music. So, Tokon, of course, is kind of a spiritual successor to Marvel vs. Capcom, as well as being made by Arc System Works. So you've got two big fighting game musical legacies there, right? There's a lot in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to the soundtracks of all the characters. I'm going to skip Promoter because she's not on the available tier lists, and I don't remember it being that interesting. I might listen to it anyway just to see what I'm going to do with it. But um, essentially, the point is to listen to the soundtracks, and then I'll do a ranking of where I see the different character tracks. So, without further ado, we're actually, I said we'll listen to all the character music. Obviously, the music you have to pick your characters also matters. So, let's go ahead and start with that. Very intense. Oh no, but when that kicks in, that is so good. And it basically loops from there. Okay, yeah. Before we get started on our first actual character, I think they nailed that. I think they absolutely nailed that. See, uh, I consider like Marvel vs. Capcom's character select themes overall. I mean, I Take You for a Ride gets memed a lot, and it's not one of my favorites. But a lot of the previous ones, even in the games that weren't necessarily versus games, are songs that I really like. This feels like Arxis's take on putting in the energy of the Guilty Gear accent core theme uh, into Tokon, right? Like this is what I how I feel about it overall. So that's where I see it. It doesn't have a spot, obviously, since there's no character select, but it would probably be pretty high up if I were to tier it. Now, we're going to listen to our first character here. I just want to make sure that I'm actually live correctly and everything is okay. Looks like everything's good to go. All right, so first character theme is going to be Captain America. Captain America's Capcom composition, at least before Marvel Infinite, is one of the most iconic fighting game anthems of all time, in my opinion. And the Marvel Superheroes version, the original, is something that I listen to on the regular. Now, I am coming in with some preconceived notions since I have listened to most of these before, but I'm giving this another chance to see if it can change my mind on what I thought of it before. So, Captain America, Stars and Valor. Well, Noor, we'll see. We'll see about that. Hmm. Yeah, I think these are the sound test versions or something. This is a bit different from what you hear in game, in the fight. I don't like that. That sound right there. Ooh, hey, do you hear that siren-like sound in the background? Oh my god. What have they done to you, Cap? What is that? Like, what is that? Like, what about this says hero of justice, right? Still a whole minute and a half left. Okay, okay, we can do this. We can do this. This part isn't so bad. Of course it goes quiet as soon as I say that. I swear that was not intentional. Well, apparently not, no. It's right here. I'm struggling, guys. I'm struggling so hard. Ooh. Okay. Like, this last part with the guitar riffs was kind of alright. So. Oh, man. So, basically, and I should have put this at the front, but my criteria for what makes a good fighting game character theme, obviously on a subjective level, does it sound good? Does it sound like something I'd want to listen to as music? I'm not the most musically inclined person out there. I can't tell my C sharps from my D minors. I don't know any of that. But at least I can tell if something sounds good to me in terms of, does it sound pleasant or exciting, or does it convey what I'm looking for from the theme? The other important thing is, can I hear the character and their personality, their story within the theme somehow? And I get none of that from Cap's theme. Cap's classic theme, like I mentioned at the beginning, is one of the all-time fighting game anthems. And I think this, of all the compositions, and I was really scared because this was one of the first things I heard from this game's soundtrack, and this got me terrified for the prospects of what this soundtrack is going to sound like. A bit of a spoiler, thankfully, there is some pretty high quality to be found, but it's not here. And that is why, unfortunately, Captain Rogers is going to be propping up the bottom of the list right now as we move forward and see what else happens. So, on to the next one, and that is Iron Man, Man in the Metal. Oh, we have vocals. That's right, this one has vocals. Very Arc Sissy, this one. This crimson skin of iron. Okay. The vocals have this, I want to say 80s cartoon intro feel. For better or worse. Maybe Cap lowered the standards so far, but I'm kind of digging this. It's alright. Yeah, I guess I could think about, would I want to fight while this is playing in the background? See, I could see myself listening to this as Iron Man is doing like a big action cutscene more than I would in the middle of a fight, I think. Because I remember I tried to listen to this in-game and it didn't quite stick the landing for me the way some of the other themes coming up did. But again, I think these versions are like quite a bit different. There are some different parts to what's played in-game when you use these themes in the middle of a match. Oh. Well, that's a shift. But if there's one thing for sure, I can hear Iron Man in this. I can hear his bravado, his confidence. That I can hear perfectly in this. Like, that's the thing, all these shifts are what make me feel like I need to listen to the track in its entirety. That is not half bad. That's not bad at all. Again, might be that Cap brought down the standard too far, but it's got a good beat. I like what melody there is in there. The lyrics I could take or leave. The vocals I could take or leave. They remind me a little too much of Guilty Gear Strive, I guess, in that sense, though not as not as overtly obnoxious as to me as they are there. So yeah, I think Tony gets a solid B tier placement. It's pretty good, not amazing, but pretty good. All right, who do we have next? Black Panther, Shuri. Well, sorry, Note, I can't. That one was actually unpleasant to listen to. You know what? I don't know. That is a nice sound. You know? While we're listening to this. It is an issue out that I work with. Just check. Well, it's looking like a good contender so far, I'll tell you that much more. See, this kind of sound usually isn't my kind of thing. But I don't know what they're doing with it, but it sounds good here. Bit of ambient jungle noise, I guess. I am a sucker for this. This part right here. That is really nice. That is... All these progressions, all these shifts have just been spot on. Just that tiny bit of vocal in the background too. Yeah, I can tell that much, Nora. The in-game version, I think, sticks to the earlier chorus more, right? And I am going to try to take that into account, that because I still remember how a lot of the in-game versions sound, so it'll be close enough. Yeah, right there. Because this part is still so immaculate. That is still so good. Majestic. Utterly majestic. Like regardless, there's the interludes in the middle that are clearly not from what you hear in game, but it conveys Shuri perfectly. I can hear, her own origins in it. I can hear her character in it. I can hear the whole idea of Wakanda, but it also has like I'd imagine if it was T'Challa and not Shuri, that the theme would have a bit of a harder edge to it. Uh, and I think they represented this being Shuri Black Panther and not T'Challa very, very well. That was excellent. That was excellent. Up next, big boy, the Hulk. Get used to that noise. Oh, what's this, Newell? I've heard it enough, trust me. That's the one. That's the one right there. Yep. It is definitely a Hulk theme. Like, this version takes a little while to get started, but this is definitely... All of this is part of the in-game theme. I remember not liking this as much in-game, but there are some details I'm hearing now that I feel I missed. Too busy mashing, I guess. Is this what they call a breakdown in musical terms? I don't know. I don't like this part as much. I recall this. Wait for it. Kind of torn. I'm kind of torn on this. Like, that part comes back way too often for me. Yeah, like, it's that 3-note sequence. That one. It keeps coming back so often, and it sounds fine, but it's used so much that I feel that there's more that could have been to this theme than that. Yeah, like I waited all this time thinking there's gonna be like some non-in-game exclusive stuff. I am torn on this because I think it starts off strong. Like it's definitely. Do I hear the character in it? 100%. I hear Hulk in that all the way through. Do I necessarily like it as a theme? Okay, so if I read this right for how I think this is going to go, I think if Hulk ends up propping up the B tier, kind of like being the B tier's gatekeeper, I think I'll be fine with that. So, yeah. All right, we'll leave him there. I'll see how that goes. Next up, ooh, I might have spoiled my reaction already, but this is. Let's just go to it. It's also a bit different from the in game theme, but it still conveys more than enough. Ooh. Listen how crazy that goes. Just, oh. Saleh, welcome. You can probably tell by my reactions right now where this is going. My god, this is amazing. Like, who played this? There is one part, Nora. This part right here is supposed to play with the drums accompanying it within the game. Uh, this is the one part that doesn't happen in this version. And then it amps up to, like, just when you think it's done. Just when you think it's done. Wow. Get all choked up, guys. Like, it's been. This is so good. Like, everything you want in a good fighting game theme is here. Incredible composition, excellent choice of instruments, and start to finish, you can hear and feel Storm's power, her regal presence, her leadership. Every single aspect of the character is perfectly conveyed. And this is a character who has, like Captain America, she'd had one of the most unbreakable streaks of excellent music until, for Cap, that was broken with Tokon. Storm continues, and she's going right to the top. This, like, not debatable for me right now. There are a couple of tracks that might fight her for that spot, but for now, she sits at the top. This is like zero debate for me on this one. Oof. Who the PR agent for the X-Men put in some absolutely massive work because we're not done. Let's move on to Magic. Violins, cellos, I don't know what instrument. It's just going ham right now. Okay. Simps, huh? Storm, Magic, yeah, I see you. But I will have one bit to debate with you on that for an upcoming character. Man, like, I guess it's because this part is repeating. You could have put this in the background of any of the best Castlevanias, and I would not have batted an eye. I wouldn't have doubted that it belongs right there. And if you know your Castlevania soundtracks, you know that is some high praise. Then it does this. I'm not gonna try deciphering those lyrics. No way, no how. Yeah, Saleh, that's the one part where I'm not so sure. Storm and Magic back to back might have been a bit more than I can handle, guys. But we still got to do the thing. Now, I was really happy for the inclusion of Magic in the game to begin with. She's essentially completely overtaken her brother Colossus in popularity and presence. You know, she's in Rivals, she's here. She's also like in the comics, she's become really prominent in a lot of the stories where Cyclops broke off with his own team. She's been one of his most capable fighters. Great character, great inclusion, banger theme, and she's gonna go right here. Just barely missing out on beating Storm. Storm's still up top. Up next. Oh, good God. All right. All right. I see you, X-Men. You hear that guitar? Excellent. And then that flipped into what sounds like a Japanese wind instrument. So sick. So sick. Then you can kind of hear something in between them here, right? Yeah, I hear it. It sounds like good excerpt. Hella good. Ah, this is not in the game. Salam, Simi-san. That part alone is incredible. Now, I love everything else in this theme. This is the one part where I'm kind of like, I'm not so sure. Ah, okay, thank you. There we go. Done. Back to the good stuff. Oh, what the? Okay. Hold up. Anime robot girl. Okay. Wow. Well, that was getting Storm, Magic, and Wolverine back to back to back. I mean, what can I say about this? It harks back to me uh to Wolverine's Marvel vs. Capcom 1 theme, which was one of my all-time favorites. It's intense, it's powerful. Whoa, whoa. Pardon me, guys. I gotta actually take this. All right, pardon the interruption, guys. People working and whatnot, so have to actually let them know what's going on. But yeah, all right, that's all done. We're talking about yeah, we're on Wolverine. Wolverine's theme is it's intense, it's powerful. You can you can hear Wolverine mixing your shit while he does that, while you listen to this theme. It's and it even has like elements of his past, like with some parts of the theme sound giving like a cowboy vibe for some of his particular adventures. Some of them giving a samurai vibe. Like there's so much in there that's really well done. So I gotta put him like it's three X-Men holding at the top of the list right now. I'm not biased at all. Who told you that? But see, I'm a Cyclops guy, and I'm putting Wolverine up here. That tells you something. On to the next. Interesting. I don't think I've really heard Danger's theme before. Like, the preview in the game did not give me this vibe. Oh, okay, this is closer to what I pictured. If you had to make a theme for a robot. Now, I guess I'm a bit conflicted on the character part of this because I read the comics where this character was introduced. She did not look like this. I'll tell you that much. I almost did a spoiler for a show that some of you might be watching, so I'll cut that thought there. But because of what I perceive the character of Danger to be, I might be disconnected from what they're trying to do with this theme. This kind of music has never really been my thing, to be perfectly honest. Although, like this sounds nice. I like this. That. Like, it keeps fluctuating so hard. Like, there are parts of it where it's just like, all right, techno beat kind of stuff, but that, and I know that happened twice in the theme, but that last bit's hella good. But I can't give this a high rank solely based on that. I don't think that would be a fair thing to do. So I think Danger will go into C tier. I don't think it's outright detrimental to my senses the way Caps was. So I think this one's fair to put there. I think we have one of the most controversial themes coming up, and indeed, it's time for some web step. Here goes. The part we all got in the preview. See, that last bit is actually kind of alright. And then it goes back to this. Ooh. Man. The cuts, the little stops in the melody are so... Right there. There's so much more jarring in these headphones, man. And then this just sounds like something completely different. And like, again, this part is alright. And then it goes back to this. And it gives that big final note like, yeah, we stuck the landing, guys. Man. See, I was so hyped for the idea of Arxis working on a Spider-Man theme. And I'd heard Storms first, right? Like I'd gotten to hear Storms, and they got me excited for Spider-Man. I'm like, oh my God. If they managed to put that kind of work into Spider-Man's theme, what have we got? And I don't know what they were going for with this. Okay, to give it one thing, I can hear Spider-Man's energy in this in parts. I can at least get it being a Spider-Man theme. But if that's all the praise I can give it, then there just isn't much to do with this. There's just every time, like, what's so annoying is that there are a couple of parts where it threatens to become something better, and then it just reverts. And that is almost worse than just being an entirely bad composition start to finish, because it gives you hope. But I still think that overall, at least for what it does as a character theme, it is not going to prop up the list. It's still going to go. Oh, well, look, he's. Hatra. Nude, were you hacking my Chrome, bro? Cap is going to still be the one propping up the list. I don't think Webstep is as bad as Stars and Valor. I think partially, I think also because of expectation, because Stars and Valor is Captain America's theme, and Cap is like The poster boy of good fighting game music, at least he was for a long time. And I hear nothing of Cap in his theme whatsoever. Spider-Man, I can at least hear something going on with him. So I'll give it that much to make it not the worst one in the game, but it was close. Next up. Ah. I can't do it. I don't think it's as bad as Cap, Noor. I can't do it. Now, there is going to be some bias with the next one because I main the upcoming character. So, and I'm very emotionally connected with her because of how many times I've gone through her comic run. Up next is Miss Marvel. Uh, you wanted some good vibes? Yeah, it's another vocally inclined song. I mean, Saleh, what can I tell you? Oof. Noor, you ask the tough questions. But I think I'm going to say this. This part is not in the game, I believe. Just that little break there. Yeah, this is definitely not in the game. This is not in the in-game version. I want to scream and shout. Man, years ago, I would have hated this, right? The whole idea of being macho and a very girly pop sounding theme like this just not really doing much for me. But like I said, I'm very emotionally connected to this character. Kamala Khan is one of my favorite comic book characters of all time. I love her original comic run. She's been led astray a bit since then. Had a bit of a rough time, and she's currently on the X-Men because they're doing the whole MCU synergy thing. Since it looks like she's going to be part of that team. I might be accidentally spoiling Avengers Doomsday for all I know, since the X-Men are involved in that movie. I don't know, but point is, this is a theme that just is very pleasant. It tells its character's story and personality perfectly. Now, as a melody and composition, I also have to kind of put the brakes on uh throwing it straight up with the bangers that we've put up in the S tier of her fellow X-Men, I can say, I guess. But it's a theme that makes me really happy. And I think for everything it does, for how well it fits the character, for how nice it sounds, I'm going to go ahead and make Kamala our first entry into the A tier. I really like what it does for her. I like what it does for the game and bringing a very different energy, a very unique energy. Focus on that idea of unique energy for what's coming up next, though, because up next we have Peter Quill, aka Star Lord. Yeah, Salah, I agree. Miss Marvel's theme, totally agree. It's like time traveling, dude. Best OST in the game. We'll get to that debate. Like, when I was watching TNS's tournament and Cloud 805 was playing, I was hearing this in the background and I was like, this fight's really hype. Or is it the music hyping me up? Did it say I'm Star Lord? Those muffled vocals there? This part, just that that part there. I don't know if I'm gonna sound weird for saying this, but it almost sounds like you could insert it into an old school Double Dragon game. Like, I don't know, that's the feeling I get from it. Apart from the whole 80s vibe, obviously. Ooh. We've got a tough decision coming up, guys. And a decision that may still shift before we're done, but this is so good. See, when this game's soundtrack hits, it hits so hard. We saw that with Storm, with Magic, with Wolverine, to a slightly lesser extent with Shuri, and Star-Lord is right up there. 100%. Now the question is where? Above Shuri and Logan, for sure, for me. Above, I think Magic's one little grunge number knocks her down a couple of points, but this is the big one for me. I think Storm still shades it for me. Barely. Barely. Like, this was as close as it could possibly be of a choice for me, but I think the energy of Storm's theme is just a little bit more in tune with what I enjoy in fighting game music than Star-Lord's, but this is like it's selecting between two of your favorite things and two bits of music that I would put arguably in a top 15 of all fighting a top 15 to 20 of all fighting game soundtracks, I think. At least maybe this might be a bit of a honeymoon phase that I'm having with this game, but they're both utterly majestic. They're both excellent. I just think if I have to pick one and only one, that I would just barely pick Storm. And I'll let everyone dwell on that while we move on to Penny Parker. 絶対無敵スパイダーガール. I wonder what this is gonna sound like. Oh no. You know, I've never given this a real listen before. I'm bobbing my head to this. I, I'm having a good time. Wow. Still sending emails. Do you guys ever stop working? Well, Saleh, I mean, that's a viable Carnage stabbing away while this is playing. You show this. I am impressed. See, again, this is nowhere near what I would ever normally consider listening to. But god damn, it is fun. Like, it is fun. It is just, and I am definitely, I have never had any formal learning of Japanese whatsoever. But the little bits that I know, I was able to catch little bits of wordplay of like they're saying yes and no in English and then yeah, hi in Japanese to kind of play off of that, and then the confidence in saying uchi no yusho, like she's going to win. Isekai, the idea of her being transferred from another universe. There's a lot in there, and so they didn't spare any effort in terms of, and I'm not usually one for vocal themes again, but like I said with Kamala, it's all about, whoops, wrong move. But it's all about whether I think the theme goes well. Does it sound nice to listen to? Does it fit the character? So 100% is, I think it is above Iron Man. But does it go up next to Kamala? Does it go up next to Kamala? For now, I think I'm going to let Penny top the B tier, and she might still be able to move up. But we'll hold that thought and proceed to our next one. You want to talk about a mood shift? Robbie Reyes, come on in. Yeah, I'm sorry, Saleh. Penny won me over. I'm as surprised as you are. Whoa. Very nice. Very, very nice. See, that part there, that is not just. Those bits added in there make me not just zone out the way I do when they're doing this typical, like, big, heavy guitar playing this way. And then this. Oh man. This is more of what I anticipated with her Ghost Rider theme. And yet. I feel it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's going crazy. Whoa. Whoa. All right. So the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider is not one that I'm familiar with. I'm going to say that up front. So I sense a different Ghost Rider in him than Johnny Blaze in terms of his character, his personality. Of course, he comes in with like a lowrider, being the obvious Hispanic that he is. And oh, man, I keep switching to the wrong window. Man, I would have thought that a song that would have elements of like grunge and like a heavy sounding guitar and all of that wouldn't be my thing. But I think the way this one balances itself is really well thought out. Like it's really well paced. And I think that balance makes it so neither side of the way this theme handles itself is neither side of the theme styles overstays its welcome. So it ends up coming to a really good balance point in my opinion. Like this is way better than I had in my initial estimations. You know what? I think we have our second A tier entry. Just behind Kamala. But that was way better than I had initially estimated for it. I'd only heard it in passing in the game. I haven't even like attempted to control Robbie yet in here, but I'm impressed. Hats off. This was good. Ah, next up, everybody's favorite character. Oh man, he's a he's a vampire with a samurai sword. The origin of Nagoriyuki. Let's go. The coolest character. All right, I'm gonna stop. Let's listen. Ooh. Leans into the samurai instantly. This part's okay. The start was very strong, though. Excuse me. Leaving aside my little bit that I was doing there before this played, it feels like there's just a further step of intensity needed. Just a teeny extra step for a character like Blade. Strangely enough, I mentioned Nagoriyuki, and this might have been a perfect Nagoriyuki theme. Like, if Strive hadn't leaned into its full, almost complete direction towards vocal themes, this might have perfectly fit for Nago. But that's not him now, this is Blade. Okay, that is 100% not a part of the in-game theme because it would never slow down this much. Ah, yes, Nord. All you Black Vampire Samurai are listening to your anthem right now. I'm so torn on this. I feel like I want to like it more than I actually do. I feel like with that type of sound, it is something that should have been fit for the A tier. So that might be spoiling a bit what I'm about to do. But I don't think it's as well made as Ghost Rider or Miss Marvel's themes. I don't think it's as strong of a contender as they are. So Blade's in the B tier. The question is where? Because I'm trying to think, how much did I enjoy that? And did I enjoy it more than Zettai Muteki Spaidagar? This is tough. This is really tough. Because leaving aside all my jokes about Blade, because he's just going to be the badass character that everybody plays, and he's going to be everybody's favorite just because he looks the way he does. But not worse. He's not worse than any of those three. Well, okay. Yeah. I think, in the interest of fairness, he should go in above Penny. Barely. Barely. It was very close. It's a good theme, not a great one. It felt like it could have been great with some added intensity, but it's good. Top of B2. All right. Everybody's real favorite character from this game, but does he bring good music? On to Deadpool. Main me. I was worried what would happen to you if I put him below Penny, Saleh. It's a very unique sounding theme. The laughter. Oh my god. Is that a banjo? Oh. I think the confusion I'm feeling is an intentional side effect of how they composed this. I think they intended for us to feel confused listening to this. Little, like the little clown trumpet in the middle of all that. And look at it pick up again. It's, yeah, pretty much like Saleh said, it's very much a Deadpool theme. They knew what they were doing in making it like this. The vocals are just like laughter and screams. Ooh. I have no idea what to do with this. Yeah, it's more random than his Marvel 3 one, but I like it better than that one. That one, it was like... I didn't enjoy his Marvel 3 theme as much, so he didn't come from like a big legacy of good music, I don't think. It was just... Yeah, I mean, you remember that one was just like, say some stuff, da da da. It's just like... To me, it was just like... That one was more about just bumping random noises into each other and hoping for the best. By comparison, this, the chaos in it is built to be strong, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain exactly what I'm trying to say here, but it's the chaotic feel of this theme is very intentional in a way that works. And it has a lot of like, because you get the comical side of Deadpool, the clown, the otherworldly being, a fourth wall breaking miscreant that he is. But you also get bits of the fact that this guy's actually one of the most dangerous killers in the whole Marvel universe. He is not to be taken lightly. Some people may have read the alternate timeline story called Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe that shows what happens when Deadpool truly goes unhinged to know what he's capable of. And I could sense bits of that in the theme too. Like the Marvel 3 theme is a lot more about the clown, right? This feels a lot more about the entire character of Deadpool. And that it does that so strongly. Like it does that with such incredible strength. Not S tier for sure. The debate is between A and B, where he would end up either bottom of A or top of B. Because I think for sure that his theme does more for him than Blades does. Does it hit as hard as Robbie or, you know, soothe our souls as well as Kamala's? It confuses us as much. Like if you were to factor, to balance out the emotion factor that how that works, it confuses us as much as any of the others evoke their emotions. Yeah, yeah, I think Wade's earned it. I think Wade's earned it. He's going bottom of A tier, which I did not think would be the case. There's a lot that I thought would happen with this when I first heard these themes that is changing as I listen to them fully. On to the next jokester, trickster, Loki. Yeah, Noor, and I'm a bit of a JRPG hound, so it's hitting. It's hitting. Like, if you told me they made a Marvel JRPG and this is the boss theme that plays when Loki shows up, I would not have even blinked at that. But I would specifically have said a turn-based RPG. Like, with the amount of chaotic action Tokon gets, I'm not so sure that I would buy this theme as much with action. It sounds really nice, though. You know, if I have a clear gripe with this, I hear the Asgardian. I hear the estranged Asgardian prince in this. I don't necessarily hear the malevolent trickster. Like, it's kind of there, but I don't hear that as well as just knowing. Yeah, exactly, Sonic, right? Like, I don't hear. Like, I would shake this Loki's hand by hearing this music. Maybe that's part of the trick. All right. Okay. Loki. It's relentlessly average. Like, just. It's just fine. It's okay. It's not spectacular, for sure. So, is it? I definitely don't think that it's in the realm of Penny or Blade. I don't think Loki can compete with that level. This is his area right now, or whether he makes it down here. It's like when I think about the intensity of Hulk's theme, like Hulk, the only thing that kills Hulk's theme, and it's a pretty big one at that, is just how repetitive it is. Uh, Iron Man had that whole 80s cartoon intro energy. So Loki's, I think it suffers from some of the same issues as Hulk. It kind of sounds samey almost all the way through. I still don't think it's as nondescript as Dangers, but I think it still doesn't bring enough to sit in the B tier. So Loki is going to prop up, or Loki is going to be gatekeeping the top of C tier. All right, we've made some rock solid progress here. I'll just, as Deadpool himself would say in Marvel 3, Bathroom break. I'll be back in a minute. I'd need to unmute my mic for that to work. All right, we are coming up on the home stretch. We just have 5 characters left. So let's just not delay any longer and going to the next one. Doctor Doom. I remember really liking this the first time I heard it. Let's see if that holds up. I can definitely hear the evil monarch. And I can also hear bits of the pride and honor that Doom carries. He did prepare a banquet for the X-Men once with halal food just for Miss Marvel. Shoutouts. Man, like, that transition earlier is more of what I was hoping it would keep doing. It's kind of like Blade, where I like the idea and I think it fits, but it needs to be more of itself. Like, it's good. And it sounds more intense now, I'll give it that much. And you need that intensity. It's Doctor Doom. He is one of the most extra characters in Marvel. And just like that. Just like that, there's Doom. Well, again, like Loki, okay, better than Loki. I think it, at the very least, it definitely fully fits who Doom is. It sounds fine, instrument choices, everything. I just think it doesn't do enough where with this character. Like, it should do more. Like, I feel there is a missing step here somewhere. So again, it's fine. You know what? I don't even think it's as good as Penny's. Like, if I had to be honest with myself, I don't think it's as good as Penny's. And I'm kind of surprising myself with this, but that is how I feel. And it's a list about music, it's all about feelings. Let's move on to another one where every time I've listened to it, I still feel that I can't form a full opinion. Let's go to Magneto. Oh, just a random thing before this starts. I've mentioned this bit in some circles. If you can tell, if whoever's watching and is still actively, uh, commenting along with this, if you know who James Arnold Taylor voiced Once Upon a Time, I'll say in a 2001-ish, I think, JRPG of the PS2 era, if you can remember which character he voiced, I'm not sure uh, you'll fully believe me if I tell you, if you don't get it yourself. So let me go ahead and get this message. All right, so with that mystery hanging in the air on who James Arnold Taylor is, let's listen. It's very intense. That part kind of takes the edge off the guitars a bit. Because if it was just the guitars, I think it would be too much. Ooh. there's your title. I think it captures a lot of what Magneto is. Like, it sounds sinister in parts, honorable in parts, determined in parts. And then there's this. Which sounds, and I mean this in the most positive sense, straight out of, like, Star Fox. Wow. This is really difficult. This is incredibly tough. So, I think Tokon did an absolutely magnificent job bringing this character to life. Magneto had been known as kind of like the king of Rushdown for so long in Marvel, and seeing the master of magnetism be kind of this weird pixie ninja character that just kind of try dashes on you and all of that. I get why people are nostalgic for that, for especially from Marvel 2. I get it, but the Tokon Magneto is my mental image of what Magneto would be in a fighting game. The way he flings debris around and kind of he manipulates the battlefield in his favor. He doesn't move around the battlefield. The battlefield moves for him. And I think that is shown in the power of this theme and how it combines his all sorts of different elements from his past, like his him being a former villain, and then and he shows up in this game as part of the Knights of Doom, so he's still got that potential villainous streak in him. And you can see it and you can hear it in how a little bit of vocals in there, how the theme shifts between a really intense evil man has walked into the room music into something more uplifting. And I think it's a definite A tier placement. That's the one thing I know. Uh, is it better? I think it's better than Deadpool. Is it better than Ghost Rider? And is it better than Miss Marvel? Ooh, I'm struggling. I'm struggling because I think it's just a tiny notch below the quality of the pieces in S tier. But I think the same of Kamala. So where does Magneto go? All for my brethren will place. It's going here. Just below Kamala. These two are like the two that could go up. Both of these could have been higher. I just think that the 5 in the S tier do a little bit more. All very marginal. Looking back over what we have so far, yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with this. Oh, right. The question that I posed earlier. James Arnold Taylor, one of his first major roles in video game voice acting was as the voice of Tidus in Final Fantasy X. So if you've heard the hilariously overblown, wrongfully accused laugh of Tidus, the ha 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 ha, you're looking at him. Well, you're looking at another character he voiced, but yeah. I'll let you guys stew on that for a bit as we go to the next theme, one that I'm also yet to give a full listen to, among others, the Green Goblin. Well, now. Oh, he's voiced by Steve Blue? It's the voice of Wolverine. Whoa! What? The sax? Whoa. What in... This... Like, I'd heard only the preview. This is not what I expected it. This is not what I thought the full version would sound like. Like, it echoes how chaotic of a character the Green Goblin is and how unhinged he is, but in kind of a completely different direction to what we had with Deadpool, for example, right? Whoa, what's this? It never lets up on that. I don't know if I can call it whimsy with a character as murderous as Norman Osborn. I'm in awe. I'm in awe. This is incredible. Like, listen to that. What have I just heard? That is incredible. So, the idea with the Green Goblin that's been presented for a while is that it's supposed to be, in some continuities, it's presented as just an extension of Norman Osborn. But in others, and I think that is what's captured here, it is meant to be a polar opposite, a separate personality existing within the body of Norman Osborn. And I think what I hear in this theme is that it is reflecting exactly that. And it reflects it so well, which gives this kind of this whimsy and then the evil intensity and then back again. And it keeps bouncing you back and forth time and time again between both of those feelings. And you're just not sure where you stand with this guy, whether you're supposed to be terrified of him or be in awe of him. It just keeps moving you back and forth in that. Like that evoked so much as I'm listening. I'm actually astounded. And it might force the first major restructure. I'm not changing the letters of the tier list, but I think I might need... Yeah. So I think this makes it into my top 5. And I think the quality on display with this, or, the audible quality of this, makes me make the sad decision to move Shuri down a spot. Because I also feel that, the more I think about the qualities for me personally, again, this is my subjective opinion that is obviously 100% correct. What that theme brought was very much on par in terms of raw strength with any of these. And I'm even potentially debating moving it above Wolverine. And Wolverine's theme, you... Yeah, sorry, Noor. I had to. It is... You know what? Because with Wolverine's theme, it had the little heavy guitar bit at the end. Goblin's going forth. He's not usurping magic. That's a step too far. But wow. This blew me away. Back down to earth. Let's find out. Well, I knew what I'm using a template, so sorry, buddy. Shuri stays where she is. Well, there's still time. The stream's not over yet. I may still bloat the S tier a bit further. Man, I'm being lazy. Let me be lazy. I'll see what to do once everything's in there. I know there are some people that are going to listen to this and think this is the best thing that ever happened. Ooh-wee. I don't think I'm one of them. That was surprisingly a nice touch. The nice touch of adding the sound of someone getting murdered. Anyway. KSI. I don't watch enough KSI to be able to tell you. While I'm listening, I might as well figure out this whole... Oy, this is why... This is why this is just not my style. Musical tier lists are very much built on people's tastes. Now, I'll go ahead and at least mention the changes I've made. I've gone ahead, yeah, know what I think you make a lot of sense by saying to add an S plus tier. So, the way I see it right now is Storm, Star-Lord, Goblin, and Magic are S plus. Wolverine, Shuri, and Miss Marvel are S. Magneto, Robbie, and Deadpool in A. The rest stays the same. Because, yeah, I agree that Shuri is a clear cut above these three, but not enough above these. And Wolverine, I think, is... wait, hold on. That's this is correct. And Wolverine is just a touch below Goblin. So that's where this goes. Now, Carnage... It's not for me. But like I hear the character. I hear the character, but I also said about whether or not I like the music, and I don't. I really don't. Now, does that make it flat out worse than Spider-Man or Cap? I don't think so. Because at the very least, it's a much better fit to the character. And I can see a world where somebody's enjoying this somewhere. So I'm going to put Carnage here on the sheer energy, the sheer murderous, crazy energy that it has that is very much Carnage. So at the very least, I get emotions evoked listening to it, which is more than I can say for Webstep or Stars and Valor. All right. We're down to our last character. Like I mentioned, I'm skipping Promoter because she's not even a playable character, and her fight's just a minigame. I just don't really connect with that. Let's listen to the Champions theme. Loki's and Dangers don't blow my ears out, so that's why they're staying above him. I was too busy trying to not let this guy kill me. Like, this tone of the voice, the one being used here, that sounds so much better. There was the initial with the more like grungy kind of voice, like early on. I didn't like that as much. That just there sounded much better. It sounds very Final Boss-like, for sure. It's a bit of a confusing piece, kind of like the champion himself. He's definitely the character of all time. I'm not saying he's bad. I think he's alright. I think he's definitely alright. Could have been much worse for a character introduced specifically for this game. horn. I really like the instrumental work on this piece. I really, really like that side of it. The vocals. The vocals I'm not a sold. Like this? Soul's theme ending? Is that what it sounded like in Strive? I mean, I'm notorious for hating that theme. I'm notorious for hating it beyond reason. But I don't think that's what this sounds like. But I don't remember the ending to Soul's theme, though. There are parts of it that I adore, that I think are great. And there are parts of it that I think are ass. it is it is such a contrast. Now obviously I'm not disparaging the people who worked on this. That's not the point. But it's just what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy and where I see this thing. The vocals, for the most part, in that little super throaty, grungy lower layer, no, I don't think that worked for this theme. I don't think it hit very well. It reminded me a lot. I mentioned Final Fantasy X. It reminded me a lot of I think Another World was the name of the theme, where you fight the actual, like, the truly considered final boss of Final Fantasy X, and it it used a similar grungy style for its lyrics, and I don't think it fit then, and I don't think it fits now because there's a certain thing with the epic feel of these fights that I don't think fits well with that kind of pardon me, with that kind of singing. That said, the instrumental work in this was great. Like, I can feel the hype of, battle for the world. It's this guy trying to take over the planet. You need to do something to save the world. You need to beat this guy. I can feel it, and in the bits of the lyrics that actually kind of lift up the voice a bit, that sounded so much better. And it puts me in a tight spot here. I think for sure. I think overall, the full picture, that it beats everything in the B tier. I think it's better than everything else in the B tier. Without being necessarily as good as any of these. So, gonna do this. Just because I feel this division is warranted. And that's where the champion's gonna go. Kind of funny he ends up on his own, considering how he plays in the game. All right, so let's review this going from bottom to top. Captain America brings up the rear because Stars and Valors is such a non-theme, and it's just a whole bunch of, it's just a chorus that repeats itself that has little bits and pieces of trying to be a Captain America theme without ever really coming together. Just a really misguided piece of work. Webstep, which is, it kind of hit me that it's called Webstep as kind of this play on dubstep, but also wub, which was the sound dubstep was known for, and a wub, wub, wub. And, that play on words is almost enough to take it underneath Cap, but it's just a tiny bit better, barely shades it. has a bit of Spider-Man energy to it. Carnage, big murderous theme, but a little too noisy for my tastes, and just not really my style. Danger, very interesting take on doing like a robotic techno-ish track, but just doesn't have enough in it to sell me on the character. Loki, a theme that doesn't fit him very well. It sounds pleasant. I like how it sounds. It's fine. It's just nothing more than fine. And yeah, Spider-Man got done dirty with this, especially with how good his original themes were back in the you know, the CPS2 Capcom days, the old arcade game days. Hulk, very intense, powerful theme, very fitting of him, but a little too repetitive. Iron Man, like it was mentioned earlier, has great intro song energy, pretty fun, decent vocals, but not the best. But as fight music for Iron Man, I don't think it fits very well. Doctor Doom, sinister, good, fitting, but not sinister or it doesn't convey the feelings it wants enough. That's where I feel about it right now. Penny Parker, hella fun. It's just, typical J-poppy stuff that is that can definitely grate on your ears if you're not into that kind of thing. I've kind of softened up on it over the years, and I find her theme to be just really like it's a bop. I think it's pretty fine. Like it's fun to listen to, and I might actually listen to it more now that I've given it a chance today. Blade, it's very good, and it definitely echoes the samurai spirit that he has, and it's all well and nice with that. But like Doom, I think it doesn't do enough for the character. Champion, an excellent, intense theme that's really hype, but it's bogged down by vocal work that for the most part doesn't fit the energy of the song for me until later parts where it picks up in the right spaces. Deadpool, incredibly chaotic, sounds really pretty much like it's Deadpool turned into a theme. Like if the song was called Song Pool, I would have believed it. Or if it was called Theme Pool, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to say. Uh, but yeah. Oh, pardon me. Just a second. Sorry, I had a package delivery I had to send someone out to receive. All right, so we're we were at Deadpool, and after that is Ghost Rider, which really surprised me as more of a heavy metal style, but with enough of the edge taken off in the chorus to really work. Magneto, an excellent fit for him that brings out all aspects of his personality, his rage at humans, his stint as an anti hero, his stint as a villain, pretty much covered everything you'd want out of a theme for Magneto. Miss Marvel, when we move up to the S tier, lots of energy, pretty much fits her to a T. And it still sounds great in a fight, in my opinion. And to me, as a fan of this character, it is basically an absolutely impeccable fit for her. Shuri, Black Panther, a great tribal feel to the theme with, echoing Wakanda as well as the history, as well as the softer touch that I think fits Shuri as opposed to if it had been T'Challa. Wolverine, it's called Unyielding Warrior, and you can hear that in every bit of the theme, and it echoes a lot of his history as well, in just how intense it sounds, as well as telling bits of his story. Then up top in the S plus, Goblin, an absolute blindsider of a theme that I did not anticipate, in how it just takes you up, down, left, right. It's It's like Goblin is this game's looking like this game's master of mix-ups, and even his theme feels like it carries that spirit. Magic up after that. Pretty much a theme straight out of the Halls of Fame of Castlevania. Excellently sounded, just everything about it, like the crazy violins, the pianos, even the little grunge at the end. It fits enough and it doesn't overstay its welcome. And it's probably the only reason she ranks below the other two. Star Lord, 80s perfection, something right out of his own mixtapes. Sounds great, great for action, great for the character, and it just barely falls underneath what I think is the best theme in the game still. Storm. It carries so much aura, so much power. It's beautiful. It's intense. It carries such a wide balance of emotions. And it was the one piece throughout all of this, one piece, but the one thing throughout all of this, the one bit of music that had me on the verge of tears because of how much I think is just that good. So there you have it. There you have it. It's done. I've been thinking of doing something like this for a while, and Tokon's soundtrack inspired me to just go for it. And I'm happy with a lot of these tracks, and I've turned out to like more of them than I expected, with some of them definitely surprising me in a way that I didn't anticipate. Uh, and yeah, that is pretty much it. Thanks for Noor, Saleh, Ra'id, whoever else managed to stop by. Hope you guys enjoyed this little discussion. Thank you for engaging with it and making it more fun for me that way. This was really nice. Anybody who catches the VOD later as well, hope you enjoyed. And whether or not you agree with me, like, let me know, right? It's not about me looking for the comments. It's just like, I'm genuinely curious because I feel like musical taste is such an interesting thing to talk about in terms of, what affects you emotionally, what you find interesting, what you don't find interesting. And it makes really fun discussions where, with one of the highest amounts of certainty, everybody's opinion can be respected, unless you like one of these. And yeah, that's gonna be it. I don't know if I'm gonna stream again later today. I still have East End Proud Nordics to continue, which I've started and have made decent progress in. But I also kind of want to just open up Tokon itself and lab, because there are a lot of ideas I want to try before I forget about them. So one more time, thanks everybody, whether live or watching the VODs later. This has been Fro with my uh, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls music tier list. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time, wishing you and your loved ones the best of health and the happiest of times always. Until next time, take care.